Welcome to my basement. In this video we will look at how you can actually make a PlayStation 3 controller work on your Commodore 64. That is the goal, at least. A good friend of mine has created an adapter that enables you to do this. He's actually an Atari guy, so he firstly developed this for the Atari 8-bit range of computers and to support the Joy to B Plus enhanced games. We won't look into that, but the idea is that you take a modern controller and utilize that several gaming systems back in the day had the 9-pin Atari joystick port as a standard, and also enabling the programs on, for instance, the Commodore to read more than one button. Actually, this system, when complete, will support 3 different buttons in addition to the joystick itself. And as we will see in the end, my friend has also helped me modify some games to support this. So for instance, we will look at the Commando, where you can throw the grenade with a button on the PS3 controller instead of using the spacebar. And also he has adapted the Rambo to support this, so that we can change weapons on the joystick instead of using the keyboard, and also pause the game. And in addition to actually shooting as normal, of course. So he sent me this package, including everything I need. The brains of the operation is an microchip PIC 16F1847 microcontroller. I'm guessing is in this package. Yeah, here it is. He has programmed the chip for me because I don't have a programmer, and he's actually using his Atari machine to do this. The project also utilizes the 8-bit 2 retro receiver, which enables you to actually connect 8-bit 2 wireless controllers to this system, and also the PlayStation 3 controller, as we will look into. So yeah, let's see if we can assemble it. Okay, so there was some nuts and bolts missing, but now I have it. It's a fairly easy build. He had some recommendations though, and that is that you should bolt the 9-pin male connector first to the board, and then solder afterwards, as it will make it a lot more easy to get it flat to the surface. But as always, you should start with the smallest components first. So we'll do the small capacitor, and we will do the socket, I guess, and then we will do the 9-pin connector, and the male one, and then the female one on the other side. So let's get started and see if we can make this work. So 0.1 microfarad capacitor, as it's labeled on the board itself. And on this side you see that it's marked C64. It's a jumper that you enable when you are going to use this adapter for the C64 or the Commodore 128. And the reason for that is that the different systems has different implementations of how to what happens when you trigger a button, if you should pull it high or if you should pull it low, basically. So the behavior changes based on that jumper. So we can get it as flat as possible. Doesn't look too ugly. Guess that's good enough. See if we can snip that off. Yes, that's that. And the board also shows you the direction of the socket, and I will just look at the notch there and then look at the notch on the socket and ensure that they are facing the same direction so that we don't put the controller in the wrong way when we're done. Which would be bad. The solder didn't want to flow, we will try some flux. We'll just tack the opposite sides and ensure that it's flat before we solder everything else. It's looking good. Let's do the rest of the pins. Okay, so we have soldered socket in place. Let's fasten the 9-pin male socket and try to listen to his advice of fastening it first before soldering. We'll see if we can get something to actually hold it in place while we fasten it securely. And also the solder will hold it in place, so I'm guessing we don't need to overdo it. But there, it's secured and flat, and we can solder this part as well. Flux it like there's no tomorrow and get going. There we go. Next we will do the female socket, or maybe we should do the jumper first. Let's see. if that worked. Yeah. It's not 100%, but it works. Those pins. Here we can do it like this without it catching fire. Okay, so let's see if we put it tacked in correctly. Yeah, actually looks pretty good. So let's do the remaining. That actually concludes the soldering of this project. Let's clean it up and have a look. Okay, so here we are. I'm not that good at soldering, but it looks half decent. Yeah, as you can see, it is done. What remains is to finish up the cable and insert the controller, if I can find it. There it is. Okay, so the trick is to put that notch in that notch, which corresponds to the notch on the PCB itself. So and also try to do it without bending the legs, of course, ensuring that all legs are into the socket before you push it in, or there will be bend the legs a little bit. Okay, so all legs are in and the notch is in the correct direction, so I push it in. Okay, so we have inserted the controller. Let's try to make the cable, which is my first try at this, and I'm a little bit afraid, of course. Let's see, this is the way, and the white one should be in this direction, and basically we just need to press and hope for the best, I guess. Who knows if this will work. Okay, so at least it's in there very well. We'll see if it connects later, I guess. insert it into this first, then we take it this way, and this, looking good, and then we are supposed to just push it. Like this. And we can cut off the excess here. I feel that it's not entirely in, but it's close. No cigar. Yeah, it's probably good enough. But there we are. That's the connector finished. We can do a little bit of trimming on this side as well, make it look a bit nicer. That one goes. There you go. Let's test it out. So basically you just insert it as any other joystick. And you see that it starts blinking. Let's see if I can get the screen in view. Okay, so let's use our Pi 1541 to load the custom version of Rambo that my friend has created. And as I said, it will support more than the single button on the C64, it is usual. We will have one button to change weapons, one button to pause the game, and one button to do the shooting as usual. We have powered on the Pi 1541, so that's not strange, it doesn't work. Let's see if that made any difference. And there we go. Let's run the file browser and see if we can find the game. So it's Rambo Eyvind, I guess. And he hacked the tape version of the game because that was easier for some reason. And this is the PS3 controller, so let's try to sync it. I will not go through the setup of the controller towards the 8-bit retro receiver because that was sketchy to see, to set it mildly. You had to load some unsigned drivers into Windows to actually be able to sync this controller to the 8-bit receiver. So instead of doing that, I just suggest you buy a 8-bit controller that works with this receiver out of the box instead. Hacking Windows in that way is not something I suggest you do, but as you can see, the controller is synced, and you see the steady blue light there, so you should be ready to go. Let's see if the game loads. Okay, so the game is loaded, the controller is synced. Let's see if we can make it work. X is the fire button. As you can see, you can use the square is set to pause the game. And you unpause it. Fire is X and 0 is changing the weapons, as you can see. So let's do some damage. And even though I love my TAC2 controller or my other Commodore 64 joysticks, it's a lot easier to play the games with a more modern wireless controller. It's a lot more responsive. And also being able to change the weapons without using the keyboard is pretty cool. Of course I died. I took a lot of damage in the beginning there. Let's see if we can get the like I'm walking into every single bullet. Yeah, so that's... I'm guessing this video is not about me nailing this game, but yeah, that's how you can make a PS3 controller work on your Commodore 128 or C64 if you like. Okay, so in the beginning of this video I promised to showcase Rambo as well. Let's see if we can make that work. As I understand it, Rambo was a little bit easier to hack because the source code for the game is made available on GitHub. Whereas Rambo was a little bit more of a challenge. So let's load the Commando version that Eyvind has created. And 1541 is hard at work, I can see, so hopefully it will load soon. Okay, so the fire button is still X. And the throw grenade is on the 0 or around. I can't make him go away. They also hacked it so that I have unlimited life, which is, I guess it's a good thing. But my Commodore skills is not what they used to be. Okay, so if you like content like this, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.